All right, so I'm going to go through pretty quickly some of the things about our history, how we got to where we are with this project. So this picture is opening day of the Belfast A&P in 1963. You'll notice that that building looks really familiar, and it doesn't look like that much has actually changed since 1963. Oh, how did we get to here? So my story for how we got to the current place we are with the project starts in 2014. In 2014, the previous general management team, it was a 3-person team, they did our first ever market study to see what the possibilities were for us to expand in our community. Once we got the results of that market study back, we started doing member forums. So we were doing them quarterly. The first one was in May of 2016, talking about future development, talking about growth. What did people want out of their community? What did they want their co-op to be? Coming out of that member forum, we did a SWOT analysis with a group of owners, figuring out the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats for the co-op in the community. And then in October of 2016, we brought on board Bill Gessner, who, for those who aren't familiar, Bill Gessner was a founding member of just about every influential cooperative organization nationally. So anybody that we look to now for guidance, anybody that we look to now for help with governance, Bill was part of those, starting those organizations. And then later in his career, he built a career around getting co-ops started and getting co-ops expanded. So he's literally the person who wrote the book on co-op expansions. So we brought Bill up here in 2016 to work with myself and work with the board on expansion and what it would take to expand the co-op. Out of that meeting with Bill, we came up with 6 options for what we could do with the co-op. And these are the options. Right off the bat, you can probably tell that there's some that we took off the list quickly, but these were all the directions that we could go. After that, jump ahead a little bit to 2018. Once again, we took up expansion in earnest and started having regular forums with owners to talk about expansion. We had a shopper satisfaction survey in 2018 where there was questions about expansion and what people were looking for in the community. The overwhelming response from people in that survey was that they wanted us to stay in our downtown location. All right, so after those meetings and talking with owners and talking about sort of where we could go, we whittled it down to 3 options: renovate and expand the current store, build a new building in the current location, or relocate to another location. In August of 2018, we started working with our partners on this project. We started working with Woodhull, which at the time was called Caleb Johnson Studios, and Warren Construction. More member owner forums to talk about expansion, how to finance things, how to channel growth. At that point, the board was able to whittle it down to 2 options: renovate and expand the current store, or build a new building in the current location. In early 2019, in January of 2019, Bill Gessner passed away. So we kind of hit the brakes on a lot of our expansion planning just because it was kind of hard to go back to it once Bill had passed away. But in December of 2019, we engaged the National Co-op Grocers team, their development team, with helping us with financial feasibility for the project. After doing some pretty extensive financial feasibility work, we came to the conclusion that there was one option, and that's to renovate and expand the current store. In July of 2020, the first architectural plans from Woodhull went before the board of directors. That's what you can see there on the right of the screen. It's fairly close to what we have come up with as a final plan. In February of 2021, we a scaled down version of that plan went to the board. And in February of 2022, the business renovation plan for the project started going out to lenders, people that we would be looking to help us finance the project. In May of 2022, we launched the Your Future Co-op series. So this was a series of videos online and Q&A sessions where people could hear about where we were with the project and ask questions and have answers in real time. In July of 2022, the board formally approved the renovation project. And in August of 2022, our partners of Cooperative Fund Northeast, LEAF, and CEI approved the loan that we would need to finance the project. All right, so this is where we are. So what you're seeing on the screen now is a rendering of the store as it will be when it's complete. There's the blueprint, which you saw when you came in. The big takeaways from the project is that the cafe seating area that we took away when the pandemic hit and we used it for our curbside program, the cafe is coming back. This is a rendering of what the interior of the cafe will look like and the counter. We're getting more stores, so 33% increase in retail square footage. We're doing that through moving all of our offices and storage that are on the retail sales floor into the basement, which is completely being revamped. We're gaining 100 linear feet of grocery and 100 linear feet of refrigerated grocery. Getting nearly twice as much bulk. So this is a rendering of the revised bulk section. We're getting increased operational efficiencies, including the addition of a hydraulic lift. For anybody who has worked at the co-op or been around the co-op, we currently use a forklift to carry things from the ground floor up to the sales floor. And when you're doing that outside in bad conditions, it's a pretty dicey way to operate. We're also doing a bump out for the Shop for Me program, our curbside program, so that we can grow that program and expand and do more to serve our community through that program. So these are the big takeaways. These are the outcomes that we're hoping to get out of the project. So the cafe returning, more space for more products, safer work conditions, more efficient operations, and more space for the Shop for Me program to grow.